I think you have to be stupid to put yourself in a situation like this. I would be pissed if any of my course members were in a situation like what I'm about to describe, and you're going to learn a lot of tricks and lessons in this one if you watch to the end, especially some tax tricks that you could take advantage of to make sure you maximize your ability to do certain things in finance to become a millionaire and not have certain numbers show up where you don't want them to show up. So watch the whole video for tips and tricks to learn all my tips and tricks. Join the courses on building your wealth, linked down below, and use that coupon code. I saw there was I think what's his name? Caleb H something, Hammer, whatever. Anyway, someone on YouTube made this video and he was sort of responding to an email. Hey, should I keep paying the minimum payment on my car and keep paying down my federal student loans? Or stop student loan payments and triple my car payment to pay off the car before the interest starts back up again on the student loan. The car payment is $540 and it's got $18,000 left, and the student loan is $1,100 and has $79,000 left on it. Oh my gosh. So I think the first thing that I want to say, I'm going to put this up on screen here so you can see it. First thing I want to say is it is remarkable how people get themselves into these sorts of payments. How do you have a $540 car payment and $18,000 left? It's a lot of money. And now I understand interest rates have gone up substantially, but one of the worst things, in my opinion, for people building their wealth is people trapping themselves in monthly payments. The reason I say that is very simple. I come from a real estate background. You should always be thinking to yourself, every single dollar that you spend of monthly debt takes away $2.34 of income for the purpose of buying a home. So think about it. In order for you to make a $540 car payment, you actually need to earn an additional $1,263 per month. On an annual basis, that means you have to make an extra 15 grand just to be back to qualifying for the same amount you could have qualified for before. If you add up $540 plus the $1,100 here for the student loan, this individual, just to have the same purchasing power for real estate as they would have had they had not had these loans, would have to make an additional $46,000. Let me put that another way. Let's say somebody goes to school, they get a job, and they make 100 grand. And somebody else goes to school, they get a job, they make 100 grand, okay? The person who went to the community college and got grants and doesn't have student debt and got a cheap car for, $5,000 to $10,000 used that they could pay off or have a very low payment on, that person at 100 grand could qualify for with $100,000 worth of purchasing power, right? Which is pretty good because $100,000 of purchasing power is going to get us at maybe a front-end ratio of about 35%, would let us have a monthly payment of close to $3,000 for a home. Okay, well, $3,000 a month for a home that you want to buy, not necessarily terrible, right? The person who has $1,100 in student loans and a $540 car payment would actually only qualify for, based on about $64,000 of income, so they would only qualify for about an $1,850 payment. $1,850 out of $3,000 is about 40% less home. That is insane. That's absolutely insane. So consider that for a moment. If you were going to buy a $40,000 home because you had no debts and you could qualify for a $400,000 home. If you could buy a $400,000 home, you had no debts. If you had an $1,100 student loan and a $540 car payment, you'd be able to qualify for about 40% less, or only about $240,000. That's like the difference between buying a home and not buying a home, right? It is such an insane difference. So when I see numbers like this and people are just getting started with their finance, I just want to shake every human being who has not gotten into these sort of loans yet and tell them, do not take on debt like this. It is so stupid because you are taking a gun and you are shooting yourself in both feet to be able to buy real estate. You basically make it impossible to become a millionaire? I think the easiest way for anyone to become a millionaire is buying real estate. And if you don't buy your own home because you can't qualify, then you're stuck. Instead of making payments on things that are actually increasing your net worth, you're making payments on stuff that really aren't helping you. Because with the student loans, you could have gotten probably the same degree for a lot less. With the car payment, you don't need that stupid, dumb car. Cars are stupid. I really dislike people spending money on cars. Now, that rant out of the way, what do you do in this situation? Apparently, the student loan has interest rates of about 7%, but the interest isn't due yet. The car's got payments of or an interest rate of just 2.9%. Not great, but also a problem. Well, I mean, it is great. I should say the interest rate is great. Don't get me wrong, but the $540 is not great. It's a lot of money, but the 2.9% is nice. That sort of mitigates some of that payment. So should I keep making the minimum payment of my car and keep paying down my student loans, or stop the student loan payments and triple off my car payment before the interest starts back up on my student loans? So in my opinion, once you get into this stupid hole where now you're making choices between what debts to pay off and not, the very first thing you should try to do is make more money. Now, I know that sounds easy to say because, well, it is pretty easy to say, but increase that top line and get something paid off ASAP. Personally, I would actually probably go for, if you can go for a forbearance on those student loans, or at least the interest payments are still on pause, I'd be paying off that car payment as soon as possible. I know people are like, Kevin, it's 2.9%. You could make more money in that investing. Yeah, listen, if you're struggling between an $18,000 payment on a car and your student loans, you don't got lots of money anyway to invest. So don't talk to me about investing in the stock market. You're not even close to considering the stock market. VTI should be like 10 years down the road for you. Like, go pay off this stupid debt first, then buy real estate. Buy real estate. Pay this crap off as soon as possible. Pay one of them off, take that extra money, throw it down on the other. Take as much money as you can and pay these suckers off as fast as possible, both of them, and then get into buying real estate. But if I could just send a warning, like a bat signal to the world, please don't take all these stupid loans. I believe that people watch my channel because they want to build wealth, because eventually they want to become a millionaire, or maybe you're already a millionaire, in which case I'm honored you're watching. Whether you're not a millionaire, you are a millionaire. I'm honored you're here watching. But geez, why? Why are people in the mindset that in America, when you turn 18, you have to sink yourself up to your eyeballs in student loan debt, or you have to sink yourself into car debt? It blows my mind. When I was 18 and I applied for a student loan to see if I could get one. I look at the terms and I actually qualified myself because I had already built my credit score up because I got a car loan out and I paid off my car loan because guess what? Wanted to buy real estate, and I made sure to buy a car that I knew I could pay off. I took advantage of some of the introductory financing, and then I paid that sucker off within a year. Then I bought real estate with money that I made. But I didn't take out the student loans because, even though I could qualify a loan, because at that time, I'm like, am I gonna pay 7% on student loans? Hell no, I'll go buy real estate, and I don't want it to affect my ability to qualify. That's what I did when I was 18, and I supported myself. Worked at Jamba Juice, then Red Robin, then became a real estate agent. Fortunately, being a real estate agent pays a lot more money than working at Jamba Juice. And I started right at 18. Look, life is a lot easier if you can increase the top line of your income. So if your income's under $50K a year right now, you got to be thinking to yourself, how can I get a skill to add more and create more value so I could actually increase my top line? That makes it a lot easier to pay off this. But don't get into that kind of stuff. It's like, it just drives me nuts. So it doesn't make sense to me for people to get into this sort of debt. And it also doesn't make so much sense for people to discourage themselves from buying real estate. Everyone watching this should be buying real estate. I hear the excuses all the time. People are like, but Kevin, housing's expensive now. Then buy something smaller. Then buy a 2-in-1 or a 1-bedroom condo or a studio. Go smaller. You don't need to buy your dream home. You're buying your first rental property, but you're going to live there first for a year so you can bank hack it and put 3.5% to 5% down and potentially even get down payment assistance granted to you from your local community development councils, because that's what they do. They hand money out to get people into home ownership. So it just, I don't know. Like the traditional financial advice out there, like somebody, I don't know, maybe it was the same person. Somebody's like, oh, your car payment should not be more than 8% of your gross take home pay. And I'm like, who made this stupid ass rule? That is dumb. Because listen, if you are making $30,000 and let's say that's your gross take home pay, okay? That means you're taking home $2,500. You should not be looking at what is that? 8%, a $200 a month car payment. I know that sounds relatively low today because we're basing that off $30,000, but $200 a month if you're bringing home $30K, that's a lot of a monthly payment. You're never gonna get into home ownership. Now, let's say you're taking home a little bit more. Let's say you're taking home $9,000 a month. Why the hell do you need a $720 car payment when you should be focused on building your wealth? These percentages don't make sense. I think the correct car payment is until you make more than $100,000, your car payment should be zero. Pay it off. Like you cheap used car and pay the sucker off. Then once you start getting maybe to 100 to 200, okay, maybe have a car payment, but have it in a side hustle. Make your car payment through like an S corporation so that way it's not affecting your debt to income. You could personally guarantee it, but you don't want it to show up on your credit report because now you can qualify for a home and still have the monthly payment. It doesn't affect you. Boom, tax hacks. That's why people come, I think, to my channel is to help you learn this kind of stuff. And check out the programs on Building Your Wealth link down below because today a coupon code expires. It's actually our last coupon code, February 3rd. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video. Anyway, sorry, I got angry when I saw this because of like, the person put themselves in a stupid situation. Now they're trying to make stupid choices and they're getting advice that normalizes the idea that it's okay to have a car payment. I know a lot of people have car payments and I get it. First, when I was 18, I had a car payment too, but I made it my job to pay that sucker off so I could buy as much real estate as possible with my income while focusing on increasing my income because that's how I became a millionaire. And that is how I also became a multimillionaire and way before social media. And that is how every normal person can do it as well. In my opinion, I really believe that. There's no get rich quick with real estate. I like the old saying, don't focus on getting rich quick, get rich for sure. Anyway, this is just my thesis on real estate. So I had to get that out of the way because it just bothered me so much.